Hello. I'm doing my entertaining speech on urban legends. When I read that we had to do a speech on urban legends, I was excited because, well, we've all have heard about one, we've all talked about one, and many of us have believed in one or many of them. Urban legends are stories built around a hypothetical incident with substance and validity to make the legend believable or worth telling. Urban legends have been passed down for several years and through many generations, regardless if it's fact or fiction. A lot of us have believed in urban legends, such like an apple a day will keep the doctor away. If you drink coffee, it'll make hair grow on your chest. And if you eat all your spinach, you will have big muscles like Popeye. Many of us have heard that through our parents. Our parents pass down those things to get us to do the things that they want us to do, like eat our vegetables or not drink things that we shouldn't be drinking, like coffee. Um, these are a few of many folklores that continued to be passed down from one generation to the next. I've actually heard these folklores many times whenever I was little, and I actually believed them, like most of us do. I remember one thing specifically. My grandfather would always tell me he would always have his coffee in the morning or like some coffee at night, and he would tell me I would always sneak up and get a sip of his coffee, and he would be like, you don't need to be drinking that. That will put hair on your chest. So that's something that he always believed me, that as a child I actually believed that it would put hair on my chest. So I would sneak up and like take a sip of his coffee, and then I would, immediately like check to see if hair was growing on my chest, because my grandpa had a really hairy chest. Like he had like major hair on his chest, and I really thought it was because he was drinking coffee. So of course I didn't want it, but I wanted to do everything that my grandpa wanted to do. So of course drinking coffee was something that he was doing, so I wanted to do. Um, and another thing that I heard whenever I was little, that an apple a day will keep the doctor away. And as a child, like, you think that, so like you're eating your apples thinking that, well, I don't want to go to the doctor because he gives me shots, so I'm going to eat an apple a day to keep him away. But if that were true, apples would be expensive and hard to get, because then everybody would be eating apples if that were true. Most people have also heard about the cartoon Popeye being an average man until he ate a spinach. Then the cartoon promotes, like, children who eat spinach will get big muscles and be able to fight off bad guys while saving his true love, olive oil. So, and I used to watch that as a little girl, a cartoon. I would watch Popeye often over at my grandparents' house, and of course, my parents always, to persuade us to eat our green vegetables, they would say, "Don't you want to have strong muscles like Popeye?" So of course, I would eat all my vegetables because I believed one day I was going to have strong muscles, and not necessarily rescue the love of my life, but that I would have strong muscles like Popeye and be able to lift things. And so those are a few of the urban legends or stories that I've heard as a little girl, and that I continue to remember the things that my parents would tell me or my grandparents. And like I actually see myself saying the same thing, like to my son. Like, he does not like spinach, so I tell him to eat his spinach so he can be strong like Popeye. Well, he doesn't watch the cartoon like I did, so he doesn't really get the the story behind that. But I tell him that Popeye, and then I continue to spread that down through to him about telling about Popeye and the story about getting strong muscles. And my daughter hates going to the doctor, so I always tell her to eat her fruits and vegetables to keep the doctor away. And of course, I'm a coffee drinker now. No hair on my chest, but I'm a coffee drinker. So to get them not to drink the coffee like I do, because obviously it has caffeine and we don't want them to do that, I often find myself saying the same thing that my grandpa always told me, that it's going to put hair on your chest. So, and it's funny to me how we through continue to pass down urban legends from long ago, or old wives' tales. that they continue to get passed down from generation to generation to because it's even whether it's fictional or it's fact, like it's still fun to tell those things, and it always leads to like the mystery behind it. Well, is it true or is it not? And a lot of people still continue to tell the story because it has something to do with their life or something that they remember hearing, like many more that I've heard. One other one was the Bloody Mary story. My friends and I, as teenagers, we'd go into the bathroom and we would shut off all the lights and tell the Bloody Mary story, wondering if it was true. I mean, kids will try that. And then just many other things that we continue to pass down through our generations. And there's always a purpose behind telling an urban legend. Like my parents, for instance, would tell me that because they wanted to try to persuade me to do something else. And those are the things that like you remember and you continue to pass down from generation to generation as children. Like you remember those stories and you continue to tell them, and then because if you feel like it's something that's going to work, then you'll tell it. So it's really fun, and it's amazing how I still like remember stuff like that. Urban legends, I find the reason why people like to tell urban legends is because urban legends, they like to add suspense or curiosity and even a lot of times humor to a story. And I believe that everyone really likes to hear, whether it's a scary story or a true story or something completely made up, but it adds like suspense and curiosity and wondering if it's true, and a lot of times it's funny. So I believe that everyone likes to hear stories that create questions and interest. Thank you so much.